Good evening. This is BelGeode, and we are back with some more AeroFly FS2. And tonight, I'm going to show you some payware airplanes. Yes! So, we are in the JustFlight Piper PA-28R, the Turbo Arrow. Now, this particular version of the Turbo Arrow is the Turbo Arrow 4. However, in the payware package that you would pick up from AeroFly FS2, well, through JustFlight actually, you get two versions of this aircraft. You get the Turbo Arrow 3 as well as the Turbo Arrow 4. There's not much difference between the two except for some aesthetics and, of course, the notable tails. This particular aircraft has a T-tail configuration. The other has the horizontal, the elevators basically lower down instead of on top of the tail. But yes, we're going to be showing this off because this is one of the newer aircraft that JustFlight has actually brought to AeroFly FS2, and it is really good to see other, what I call AAA developers, actually developing for this sim. So we're going to figure out just how good of a job they actually did with this thing. Now, you may or may not recognize the location that we are in. We are in Key West. Of course, as longtime viewers of this channel know, Key West is one of my favorite places. In fact, you might even say the entire flight simulation portion of this channel started in Key West. You'd have to search for the video. But yes, the reason why we are back here in Key West, I want to show off the other thing. You may have noticed earlier that there was a gas truck that went by. The Florida DLC is currently IPACS's testing ground for AI traffic. So this includes airport traffic, ground traffic on the regular roads, as well as AI aircraft traffic, and even boat traffic. So we're going to be taking a look at all of that today. And in order to pull that off, we're going to be flying from here, Key West, to Marathon. You notice I'm looking directly at 3 military jets over there that are currently overflying Naval Air Station Key West. That kind of clues you in as to what we're dealing with here. It is really, really cool stuff. Okay, but time waits for no one. And the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get this aircraft all started up so that way we can begin our little tour and I can show you around the place. More than likely you will be watching this on November the 18th, 2019. So that is my birthday. So this is like a birthday flight for me. So happy birthday to me. And thank you in advance for all your comments. Yeah, I'm totally fishing for attention here. Listen, I'm going to be 49 this year. So you know what? I'll take every happy birthday I can get. I think I've earned them now. All right, but enough shenanigans. Let's go ahead and get everything started here. All right, now I'm going to be honest with you folks. I've only looked at the checklist maybe about 3-4 times. I haven't really studied it in depth, so I hope I remember what the hell I'm doing here. Okay, I know we first need battery and alternator on, and we're probably also going to need our anti-collision lights on in preparation for an engine start. All right, let's see what we've got here. On the nifty little yoke, you will see a clock currently set to UTC, so we're going to switch that around to local time. As you can see, it is 9:59 and 33 seconds here in sunny Florida. And here comes the gas man again. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the AI later. And of course, during the flight, I will try to put us in the back seat here so we can take a look around the cabin and see JustFlight's handiwork, because honestly, that is worth taking note of. So we'll do that later. All right, let's see. We need to get some fuel going in this puppy. Let me check my tanks. It would seem the right tank is a little bit lower than the left tank. Yes, okay, we're going to start with the right tank first. So put our fuel selector to right. In case you were curious, this wing has a very unusual design. You'll notice it comes out from the root at an angle, and then it's totally flat, and then it goes at an angle to the tip. The flat section here, in case you can't tell from the gas cap sticking out the top, that's our fuel tank. So there's, of course, one on this side, and there's one matching one on the other side. That's pretty much all this aircraft has. But it's a unique wing design, though, so I kind of like that. All right. Let's see, prop pitch. Let's go ahead and put prop pitch up. Mixture, we'll kind of cycle it. We're going to leave the mixture down because we're actually going to use the primer, which is up here. But we'll get to that in a second here. We're going to need our magnetos on, so we'll go both. Okay, I think everything is pretty much set for a start. We'll check our parking brakes and make sure they are on. Yes, the parking brake lever is towards me, so that means we're on. All right, let's go ahead and close our door. We're going to need to latch it, so latch it at the bottom as well as latch it at the top. Okay, now we're pretty good for engine start. Make sure everything's clear. I don't see the gas man. All right, let's prime the engine for about 5 seconds. That should be good enough. Okay, we'll open up our little window here and shout, "Clear prop!" And then start. There we go. Looks like we got a good start, so we're going to note our time of start is 10:02 a.m. and that is awesome. All right, now let's get our RPMs up to 1,000. We're going to need that to warm up this engine. And we're also going to lean our mixture a little bit so we don't foul our spark plugs. Right there should be good. You'll notice our EGT temperature actually dropped. This is one of the first aircraft I've been in that actually shows what's going on with the EGT as you adjust the mixture. That is monumental, and that is really cool to see from JustFlight. Okay, so now that we've got all of that done, and while we're waiting for the engine to come up to speed, let's get our electronics on. So let me see. We want, I guess, comm. Make sure we get both comms up, as well as the marker. I don't know why I do that, because I can't hear any of the markers in AeroFly FS2. We'll get this bad boy up. Of course, this needs no introduction. You know what this is. This is a GPS. More specifically, this is the GNS 530 GPS. Now, what is significant about this, the fact that it's a GPS, this is the first aircraft that I've been in AeroFly FS2 that actually models a GPS. Typically, what AeroFly will do is they will either have customized avionics in the case of, you know, some of the bigger planes, or they will have that little moving map thing, which I'm sure you're used to seeing every time I fly around with Pamela in the Cessna. This is the first aircraft that I've been in that actually has a GPS that I'm used to seeing in other sims. And it does have all the other stuff too. Like, see, we've got our procedures up there. And we can take a look at our flight plan, which of course I put in ahead of time. And we've even got messages. Set course to 275. Okay, thank you, duly noted. I'm not setting my course to 275. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. In addition, there are also circuit breakers in this thing. Now, I really have not pushed any of them to see if they pop in and pop out. I'm going to assume they are because my little mouse cursor is showing me that I can interact with them. But I don't want to tempt fate. Alright, let's get the rest of our radios up. So that's our comm. Get our DME going here. And get our ADF on. And we'll need to put our transponder to standby. And I just realized, why are we squawking 7,000? That's not right. We need to be squawking 1,200. Okay, there we go. That should fix it. Alright. And we do have an autopilot in this thing. It is rather rudimentary as far as autopilots go, but I will show you how that operates once we take off and begin our journey towards Marathon. For now, however, one of the things that I do want to do is I do want to do our controls wipeout. So for that, we're going to go to the outside. Alright, so now that we've got our controls wipeout out of the way, I would say that we're pretty much set to go. Let's just check our engine instruments here. Okay, manifold pressure looks good. Oil temp is in the green, and oil pressure is in the green. Fuel pressure is also in the green. We'll leave it on the right tank for now. After we take off, we'll switch it to the left tank since the left tank is a little bit fuller. Now, one thing I will say is that I have not actually tested to see if this thing can run out of gas. I know traditionally in AeroFly FS2 that is not a thing. However, I don't know if that's something that JustFlight actually incorporated into it. If they did, that would make this probably one of the first planes that actually has accurate fuel systems modeling. I'm hoping that's the case, but we're not going to test that theory today, let's just say. Alright, it is a little loud in here, so let's go ahead and close our window. There we go, much better. And let me just do another quick scan of the gauges. We'll make sure everything is fine. We do want flaps 1, so our flap lever is right here in the middle. We're going to pull it up 1 notch. Check both wings. Yep, we've got a flap down there, and we've got a flap down there. Okay, so we're pretty much ready to taxi, and here is the plan of attack for takeoff. We're going to go where the gas truck is going there. We're going to go down to the threshold of runway 27, so that is going to be the westbound runway. When we take off, we're going to head over the far side of Key West, over by Mallory Square. We're going to make a right-hand turn, and we'll go around the northern side of this island just to kind of get out of the air traffic. The reason why we want to do that, remember, I told you that air traffic is actually modeled in this thing, and I'm actually going to discuss that a little bit further because there is a caveat with that. But since we do know that there is air traffic flying patterns around here, we're going to want to get out of their way, basically. So with that having been said, let's go ahead and get our parking brakes on, and we will begin our taxi to runway 27. I love this airport. I have been to this airport in real life as well as the airport that we're using as our destination, and they never get old. They just never get old. Alright, I am thinking we're gonna go all the way past these biz jets and that twin engine. We'll make a left here. We'll come out to our taxiway, and you can still see the military guys are flying there. They're just having fun, doing their thing. So yes, you will notice that a lot of the aircraft vehicles are finally moving. This has been one of the biggest requests that I have had for AeroFly FS2, and I'm really glad to see that they've started to incorporate that. Now remember, I did say earlier, this is kind of like the experiment, if you will, for them. So we're not going to see like full implementation just yet of all kinds of traffic, but this will give us a really good indicator as to where they're headed, and presumably what they learn from this grand experiment here will determine the way that AI traffic, both on the ground and in the air, will happen in the future. Alright, but for now, let's go ahead and taxi to the runway. Okay, so we are here at runway 27. Let's go ahead and get our parking brake back on, because we're going to need to do our engine run-up and all of our checks and so on. And while we're at it, we'll keep an eye out for that traffic, just in case he happens to be coming in. I know he's around here somewhere. Okay, first things first, let's get the rest of our lights on. So we want our landing lights on. What is our current outside air temperature? Just about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm thinking we probably can get away without using the pitot heat, so we'll leave that off for the time being. We will, however, set our transponder to ALT, altitude, so that way we can start squawking. We've already zoomed in our GPS when I turned it on, so we should be good to go there. Okay, so the only thing that we've got left to do now is just our engine run-up. So to do the engine run-up in this aircraft, we're going to need to get our RPMs up to 1800. So let me give us a full mixture. We'll slowly but surely increase the throttle until we hit 1800. Okay, we'll hold it right there, let it settle down for a second. And we'll try our mags first. So let's go to the right mag. Okay, we've got a good drop. We'll put it back up to both. Alright, back up to 1800. And let's go with the left mag. Good drop. And we'll put it back to both. We'll play with the prop pitch a little bit here, so we'll cycle it down. Yep, we definitely get a change in pitch. That works. We'll put it back to full. And we'll also adjust our mixture and see if we get a drop. We do. Okay, so everything checks out. I'd say we're looking pretty good, so we'll go ahead and bring it back down to 1000 RPM. There we go. Okay. Do another traffic check here. I don't see anything on that side. I don't see anything on this side. And come think of it, I don't even see our little military guys. Oh, wait. No, there they are. There they are. All right. I would say we are ready for takeoff. So let's go ahead and take the parking brakes off. And we will take the active. Okay, everything is looking good. I really like the audio on this aircraft as well. JustFlight did a tremendous job of mimicking the audio. Bear in mind, I'm not much of a Piper person. I am more Cessna and occasionally Beechcraft. So this is kind of like virgin territory for me, but from everything that I'm hearing, it actually does sound like I would expect a Piper to sound. Alright, so we're at the hold short here. Okay. Block time 10:30. Alright, you know what it's time for, folks. Brakes down, throttles up. And brakes off. And let's go, go, go. We're going to put it just shy of full throttle. Should be picking up airspeed nicely, and just like that, we are at rotate speed, so we'll pull her up. Beautiful, beautiful. We've got positive rate, so we'll go gear up. It's our gear lever right there. And while we're at it, we'll go flaps up. Okay, flaps are up. We've got a nice sprightly climb here. It is a little bit turbulent today, but I think we can handle that. There is a little bit of traffic up ahead. We'll deal with that momentarily. I'm going to trim us up just a touch here so we continue gaining altitude. Alright, now I'll start introducing the autopilot. You'll notice this little knob here. I just turned it all the way to the left to nav, and we're going to engage that with this right side switch here. So we're currently working on the GPS right there. And as we begin our first turn, I'm going to go to the outside view. Okay, so I'm sure you could see outside that we do have boat traffic that's moving around, and we even found our little guy back there that's flying around. He is on his way into Key West. I think he's actually going to land the opposite way, so I can only assume the winds have changed. We are about to make this right-hand turn, and then we'll fly past Key West again. I want to bring us up to about 3,000 feet. So as you can see, we're just at about 2,000 right now. Once we get to 3,000, I will level us off. But for now, we're going to do our turn. Since it is a little bit turbulent, I generally try to rely on the autopilot to kind of keep me where I need to go. I don't mind hand flying, and we will probably do some hand flying for our approach to get into Marathon Key. But for now, I think we can get better sightseeing done if we actually have the autopilot take the bulk of the work for us. So as you can see, there is beautiful Key West. If I had one thing to complain about with AeroFly's version of Key West, I think it's missing some trees. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's got like the perfect amount of buildings, all the houses and everything that we're used to seeing in Key West, if you've ever been to Key West. But I really think it needs more trees. So hopefully that is something that they can update in due course. In the meantime, we're going to take a look over at Boca Chica Key, the home of Key West Naval Air Station, and see if we can find our military jets. And now that I'm thinking about it too, if I recall correctly, the 3 military jets flying over this base were F-15 Eagles. That's not right. Key West Naval Air Station is supposed to have F-18s, not F-15s, so, somebody didn't do their homework on that one, I guess. Alright, but it does appear that we are at 3,000 feet, or just a little bit over that. I do not know for sure if this aircraft comes with an altitude hold, but I do see a little button here, so I'm going to push it. And in pushing it, it looks like we are going up again. So let me trim us back down. We might have to manually trim this thing, because I don't want to get much higher than the cloud deck here. You can see the base of the clouds just over 3,000 feet, probably about 4,000 feet. Now that we're on cruise, I can pull everything back just a touch. Let's make this turn really quick here. And then we will do just that. I'm still trimming us down just a touch here. We'll take one final look at Key West on our way out. And we'll look forward to Boca Chica Key. Beautiful place, beautiful place. I've never actually been to that naval air station, but I've been by it so many times, and of course I've used it so many times virtually that I feel like I know the place. Alright, so while this thing is starting to behave itself here, let's go ahead and bring our prop pitch down. We're currently at 2,400 RPM. Let's drop that a bit to about 2,300. Since we're only at 3,000 feet, we really don't need to mess with the mixture, so we'll keep that on full for the time being. One thing I am going to do, however, is I'll go ahead and turn off our landing lights to indicate that we are on cruise. So there we go. Landing lights are currently off. And now that we're passing Key West Naval Air Station, let's go to the outside view and take a look at it. Alright, so we are back, and as you can see, that is a pretty awesome little airbase. It's got multiple runways for you to pick from if you are doing your exercises and so on and so forth. I know a lot of training goes on down there, but I don't know what exactly they do these days. I know back in the day they used to have Tomcat squadrons there, and even Phantom squadrons. Oh, hey, hello! What's up with you, dude? Okay, so you're flying a plane. This is awesome. This is awesome. We'll let you do some of the work here for the time being while we just kind of chill. So yeah, let's see how we're doing. We are closing in on 3,500 feet, which is no bueno. I actually want us to be below that. So, dude, I'm going to handle the trim. You just keep us flying in the right direction there. And it looks like we've got a little ways to go to get to Hechem, just over 1 nautical mile. So once we reach Hechem, we are going to hang a slight left. We'll continue up the Keys until we get to the 7 Mile Bridge, at which point in time we're going to veer to the right and go to the southern side of Marathon Key. And then from there, we will make our left-hand turn to base leg and then to final to land at Marathon Airport. So take it away, dude. Make us do that little turning thing there. I really like that little turning thing. In the meantime, I'm going to check everything out over here. Everything looks good. EGT looks great. And there we go. We're in our little turn. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is the kind of stuff that I love to see. I love when developers start bringing stuff to AeroFly FS2 because it could still use a lot of work. And especially aircraft. I've shown you before one of the freeware aircraft that's available for AeroFly FS2. This is my first foray into the payware, but as you can see, with everything that I'm seeing here, this is definitely payware quality, and it fits just perfectly with this sim. In a little bit, we'll go to the back, and we'll kind of check out the cabin in the back. But for now, we're going to go back to the outside view for a little bit and take a look at Sugarloaf Keys and some of the other keys in the lower portion of the Florida Keys. Okay, so as promised, we are in the back of the aircraft. And one of the reasons why I am coming back here is I really want to showcase what JustFlight has done. Now, please bear in mind that I have no idea if IPACS has fully embraced things like PBR, which is physically based rendering for AeroFly FS2. However, it kind of sort of looks like that, just basing it on the textures that JustFlight has used for this aircraft. For example, if you look at this seat rest, it kind of looks like it is in fact made out of velour or some kind of cloth material. Not to mention, the cabin itself does have that old plastic look, and honestly, it kind of reminds me of my very first car, which was a hand-me-down from my dad. It was a 1980 Pontiac Sunbird. This is pretty much what the interior looked like. The plastic was so old that it was starting to crumble and fade. And yeah, I think they nailed this. They absolutely nailed this. This is what old plastic looks like. Now bear in mind that this aircraft came into being roughly around 1979, so it is a late 70s vintage aircraft. I would say that JustFlight did an excellent job in making this thing look like it is a late model aircraft. They did a pretty good job on that. It's even got little ashtrays there. There's a little space in the back for cargo, luggage. And I love these nifty little curtains there. You can almost tell that that's a heavy material. So pretty good stuff. Kudos to you, JustFlight. You did a dang good job on that. Alright, let me take a look at our GPS here. Looks like we still have a little ways to go to get to our next waypoint. So we're going to go back to the outside view, and we will come in after we pass the road and the bridge over there. And then we will continue our flight. I would say we're about halfway to our destination right now. Okay, so we adjusted our waypoint VP Co, and we're going to be making a slight right here. Off in the distance, you can see our final destination, Marathon Key, and the infamous 7-mile bridge is beginning to come into view. Right now, we're over by Bahia Honda Key. So we're going to swing out a little bit to the right. Now, on our approach, I'm going to bring us down to about 2,000 feet, but there's a little bit of method to my madness. We actually have an AI guy that is performing touch and goes over at Marathon Airport, so we want to keep an eye out for him and make sure we don't have conflicting traffic. Now, a word about the AI that I do feel that I need to mention to you. This thing is hard-coded. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is the AI aircraft, the AI vehicles, the AI boats and traffic, ground traffic that we've seen thus far are basically on permanent loops. They are not dynamic, so you're not going to be in a situation like with X-Plane or FSX P3D where you're going to see aircraft that are literally flying from one destination to the other in real time. No. These guys are actually set on little paths. So the guy that we're going to run into that's doing the touch and goes, that's literally all that he's doing is touch and goes forever, basically. Now, I don't know if that is going to be the final implementation of IPACS's AI for AeroFly FS2. However, for now, it is a pretty good start as far as implementing AI into this sim. And it's something that this sim has definitely needed to give it a little bit more life, because honestly that has been the chief complaint with the sim, is as beautiful as it is, it feels a little dead. And even the water, you'll notice that the ortho photos, the water looks absolutely perfect. That's pretty much exactly what it looks like in the Florida Keys just south of Marathon. However, since this is AeroFly FS2, I have no idea what the developers are planning on doing in order to make the water look more, well, watery. But if there is a bright side to this, because of the fact that it doesn't have to generate things like waves or tides and so on and so forth, at least this thing still performs very, very well. Alright, so directly ahead and to the left is the infamous 7-mile bridge passing Pigeon Key on the left there. And you can begin to see Marathon. So we're going to go to the outside view really quick and take a look at that beautiful bridge. We're just about to pass Pigeon Key. You can see it down there. That's a little tiny island that meets that portion of the 7-mile bridge, which is not the official traffic bridge. The official traffic bridge is just to the south of that. It's the straight one. Pigeon Key is so named because at one point in time, there were a lot of pigeons there. But to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if there's any birds there now. I think they all went away over a period of time. And we're coming up on the very, very western tip of Marathon, and right next to the road itself, you'll see a little rectangular building. It's time for me to give my free advertising to my absolute favorite restaurant in the world, or at least what I've seen so far. That is the Sunset Grill at Marathon Key, which is right on the shoreline there and right at the edge of the 7-mile bridge. If you ever get the opportunity to go to the Florida Keys, in particular to Marathon Key, please make sure that you stop by the Sunset Grill. You could even tell them BelGeode sent you, and they'll probably just look at you funny as in, who the heck is that guy? But yeah, I love giving those guys free advertising because they've got the absolute best food. Okay, so here is our airport coming up. This is Marathon Airport, and this is the plan of attack that we have. First off, we're going to go ahead and put the prop pitch back up, but we're going to lower our throttle a bit so that way we can start losing altitude. We're going to bring it down to about 2,000 feet as we pass the airport. We'll keep an eye out for our dude doing touch and goes. We're going to go past the bulk of Marathon, and then we're going to hang a left and bring it in to land at the airport on runway, what is that, 25, I believe. So there we go. We're coming down nice and sprightly here. As a matter of fact, let's go back to the outside view as we begin our descent here. Okay, if you look off to the left, you'll see our little guy just took off from the runway, and he's beginning his circuit now. So we're probably going to let him land first, and then we'll come in behind him. Hopefully he will have done the go part of his touch and go prior to us actually landing. In the meantime, we're still coming down. We're at 1,500 feet right now, and our speed is such that we can start lowering gear and flaps. Before I do that, though, let me go ahead and turn our landing lights on. Okay, looking good. Let's get our flaps down one notch. And of course, we're going to balloon up just a touch. We'll get our gear down. Gear is currently in transit. Holy hell, that is noisy as all get out. Whew. Definitely feels like gear, that's for sure. And let's put flaps up. Or down, actually, one notch. So there we go. We're at flaps 2. And we'll just trim out for speed. We'll try to keep it around 80 knots as we're coming down. So there we go. That should hold us. Now, I did set this for a very long downwind leg. However, what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye out for our little guy. And as soon as we've confirmed that he's taken off, then we will begin our turn in. And I think right now should just about do the trick. So we get the altitude hold off, our nav hold off, and our general autopilot off. We'll begin our left-hand turn. We're at about 800 feet. We don't want to go much lower than this. But since we are kind of close to the airport, then we're going to accommodate that VASI light that they've got on the end of the runway there. I'm sure these folks won't mind us flying over their neighborhood there. I'm not really sure what the noise abatement rules are in this neighborhood, but yeah, we're just going to do our thing here. Alright, so there's Marathon Airport, and we're going to be cutting this a little bit close. But I do want to see if I can find our guy, because I think he's on a very tight circuit. There he is. He just took off now. So now is our cue. We should go ahead and bring this puppy home. Alright. Let's drop it down, because according to the VASI, I am way high up. See, we've got some sailboat traffic moving there. That is a thing of beauty. I love that. Alright, we're going to go to the outside as we make our base leg to final turn. Okay, I still do not have eyes on our guy. Oh, wait, no, there he is. There he is. Alright, well, Marathon traffic. Piper, November 3023 Kilo is short final, runway 25. Make sure you keep this jackass out of my way here, because we're coming in hot. Alright, let's bring this bird in. A little bit of graphical anomaly on those buildings there. Says we're lined up properly, looking good. We're a little low. There we go. There we go. We'll just float her in. Try to get her on the center line here. And we'll go to the outside for touchdown. All right, and we made it. Welcome, folks, to Marathon Key, one of my favorite places in the Florida Keys, aside from Key West, and of course, Upper and Lower Matacumbe Keys. Okay, so now that we're down, let's go ahead and do our post-landing checklist. So we'll get our flaps up full, and we're going to want our landing lights off. Leave the anti-collision lights on. We'll turn our transponder back to standby. That should be good. Mixture is fine for now. Prop pitch is fine for now. And I'm thinking we're probably going to want to park somewhere close to that King Air. You can see there's still some aircraft or some airport traffic moving around there, which is absolutely fine. All right, let's go ahead and taxi in. So yeah, how do I feel about this JustFlight Piper Turbo Arrow? I love it. I love it. As I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not a huge fan of Piper aircraft. I'm actually more of a Cessna fanboy. But I really like this thing. It actually feels like a real Piper. And more importantly, it feels like a real old Piper, which I greatly appreciate because I have a soft spot in my heart for vintage looking aircraft. And this certainly fits the bill. 1979, so that means this aircraft is about 9 years younger than me. I don't know which one of us looks a little bit better, me or the aircraft, considering I'm about to be 49 on Monday the 18th. Whew, I don't even want to think about it. Alright, so just to remind you, this aircraft, this JustFlight PA-28R Turbo Arrow, you get two versions. You get the Turbo Arrow 3 as well as the Turbo Arrow 4 in the same package. It is, of course, payware. You can pick it up on Steam. I want to say you might be able to pick it up as well on the JustFlight page, but don't quote me on that one. I really don't know because I usually just do all of my shopping on Steam when it comes to AeroFly FS2. But with that being said, I do believe we are done. There goes Touch and Go guy again. Nice cameo there, buddy. Dang, look at him go. Wow. Alright, so let's go ahead and kill the engine, and then we will call this episode done. So mixture off. There we go. And we'll get our magnetos off. Alright, everything is good to go. We actually should have turned off our avionics before turning off the engine, so that way it's not like a huge drain on the battery. But we're going to get that taken care of right now, so that's not going to be an issue. And there we go. We didn't have to use any procedures for this particular GPS here, but then coming into Marathon, there's not a whole heck of a lot of procedures there. And we'll get our prop pitch down. We'll also open up our window here. Okay, anti-collision lights off, alternator off, battery off, door unlatched, and there we go. Alrighty, folks, so that will do it for this little birthday flight for me. Thank you, as always, for watching. This has been BelGeode. I have been flying an AeroFly FS2 in the JustFlight PA-28R Turbo Arrow. This particular one is a Turbo Arrow 4. The Turbo Arrow 3 also comes with it. If you enjoy what you have seen, please feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done, and keep sharing these videos. I see them pop up on the internet from time to time in different locations, and I'm really glad to see that. So thank you again for watching. Thank you for the birthday wishes in advance, and thank you for your kind words, your comments, and your love, and for your support of this channel. It is always appreciated. As we move into Thanksgiving week, I really do want to give thanks for each and every one of you who take a little bit of time out of your day to leave something pleasant on this channel. I couldn't do it without you. Alrighty folks, here's to another year of videos, and I will catch you all really, really soon. Ciao!